Millions of species exist worldwide in the animal kingdom, exhibiting many unique lifestyles, adaptations, and behaviors. When an array of animals are recognized to have shared characteristics, scientists, more precisely biologists or taxonomists, classify them into groups to better understand the evolutionary relationship and diversity of life on this planet. One group, the phylum Chordata, this being animals with a notochord and pharyngeal slits at some point in their life, contains the world's vertebrates.
You know, the ones with the craniums, backbones, and internal skeletons. Kinda like you. But not me, cause I'm an alien. From the future. Yeah. Vertebrates have existed on Earth for over 500 million years, since the Cambrian period. Starting out as little kinda guppy fish tadpole things. In other words, the earliest fish that lived in the shadows of those backboneless freaks, the invertebrates. I mean, imagine not having an internal skeleton or a backbone. Sheesh. Get a load of this guy, am I right? What are you anyways? Are you like a pine cone? What are you? Are you going to be used as a centerpiece on my Thanksgiving table during Thanksgiving? The centerpiece on my table during Thanksgiving dinner? Got him with that one. I mean, come on.
I'm so sorry, Rovaxia. You know I didn't mean it, baby. Since those humble watery beginnings, vertebrates have transformed and diversified throughout hundreds of millions of years, leading to the present day where 5 major extant lineages remain after all that time: fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals. And it's in that last group, the mammals, that being creatures in possession of hair, mammary glands, and jaws that hinge directly to the skull, where I want to take some time and chat with you about them in this video. Mainly explore some species that I think are largely concealed from pop culture, some that you may not know about, and that I think need to be brought to the spotlight. Stage fright be damned. That's a beaver joke. The continent of Africa contains a wide array of ecosystems and is home to many unique mammal species unlike anything else currently on Earth. One may think no further than the famous scenes of savanna landscapes that harbor world-famous mammals like elephants, wildebeests, rhinos, lions, and giraffes. A menagerie of creatures that offer a glimpse of the natural world that existed right before either you guys, or climate change, or a combination of both, wiped out many of the large megafaunal communities that occurred globally. But that's a story for another time. As interesting as these animals are, it's in the dense rainforests that lie in the heart of the continent where I want to draw the attention of our first obscure mammal. In countries like Cameroon, Gabon, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo, one can find swimming about in their streams and rivers the giant otter shrew, which isn't an otter and isn't a shrew. 2 groups of animals that this guy isn't closely related to at all. Go figures. Let's throw this one in the bin of misleading animal common names. They're all over the place. These things they're slung out like hotcakes. I mean, they're everywhere. In reality, these 2-foot-long amphibious mammals and their smaller counterparts, I guess that's where the giant part comes in, are relatives of Tenrex, another uniquely strange group of mammals that have convergently evolved body types with counterparts on other continents. The giant otter shrew is no different in this aspect. Take a quick look and you may think this creature is a true otter. Who can blame you? They have long, slender bodies for efficient swimming, live in freshwater habitats like streams, and hunt similar prey like frogs and fish. However, a huge standout difference is in their tail shape, which is laterally flattened. This feature coincides with their swimming style, which is very reptilian in nature. That is, they swim in a ribbon-like side-to-side motion. This is unusual among mammals as most adapted for swimming do so in an up and down motion, and have horizontally flattened tails to match.
Anyways, all this talk of water reminds me that I gotta go shower. Kinda like this video of a rat taking one. Psych though, that's not a rat. That's a pacarana. It seems that South America has its own private stash of eccentric rodents. Rats with spiky tails that can detach them like lizards. Bugged out foragers that like to eat poop. Relatable, am I right? And little tunnel makers that like to make tunnels. I mean, what'd you think I was gonna say? They could fly planes? They can't fly a plane. I mean, you think you can, like, steer anything? They're like this big, dude. Like what? You could put them in like a little RC car and then like drive them around in the streets in front of your house.
None, however, take the theoretical cake like the pacarana. These guys live in the forests that coat the Andean mountain ranges of Colombia, Bolivia, and Venezuela. Though their ability to reach lengths of over 2 feet long and weights up to 33 pounds may seem measly, pacaranas are one of the largest rodents in the world, behind beavers, certain species of porcupines, and capybaras. This record isn't surprising given their ancestry, as pacaranas are the sole surviving member of the rodent family Dinomyidae, a group that contains some of the largest rodents that possibly ever existed, like the cow-sized... oh boy. Joseph R. Tigacia. Yeah, that sounds right. Which existed a couple of million years ago in South America. Much like its gigantic predecessors, much about the pacarana's life is left up to mystery. Its nocturnal nature and hazardous habitat makes it hard to properly study. Only fragments of its lifestyle can be accounted for, such as its communication style of stomping its feet and singing, or its diet of plant shoots and fruit. The next obscure mammal is one that scientists and conservationists do have some more information on. Once spanning the entire Eurasian continent into North America, the Saiga antelope has carved out an enclave within the steppes of Kazakhstan, Mongolia, and southern Russia. Now, I'll be the one to say it, but their most distinctive feature is that bloated, puffed-up trunk, a reminiscent feature of what some prehistoric mammals like Macarena, the Macarena, might have had. The function of this adaptation is to warm and moisten cold, dry air that's inhaled, and filter dust, preventing damage to the animal's respiratory system. These guys have barely changed morphologically from their Pleistocene heydays, and to see a reflection of the past gazing back at us still is truly a marvel that needs to be protected. When the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, government protection for the animals dissolved, leaving them vulnerable to poaching for consumption and traditional medicine. This phenomenon over the course of a decade depleted Saiga populations. Decades later, populations in Kazakhstan and Mongolia faced sudden devastation in the wake of disease, which yet again imperiled the existence of the Saiga antelope. Though challenges like these still loom, collaborations between government and conservation organizations, through the establishment of protected areas and increased enforcement of anti-poaching laws, have enabled the Saiga antelope population to recover in striking numbers, with current estimates being up to 2 million individuals. So I think things are looking up for these guys. The final mammal I wanted to cover today exists within the tropical rainforests of Southeast Asia, where they can be seen gliding from tree to tree. These, of course, are the colugos, or the flying lemurs, which are both words that don't describe the animal correctly, as they don't fly and they aren't lemurs. Anyways, these are a peculiar group of mammals. First off, there are 2 species. One, the Sunda flying lemur, can be found in many Southeast Asian countries like Indonesia, Vietnam, Laos, Thailand, and Malaysia. The other, the Philippine flying lemur, can be found in, well, the Philippines. These guys are arboreal gliding mammals that live out their lives leaping from tree to tree. This is all thanks to their patagium, a thin web of skin that spans from the tip of the animal's tail to its neck, that when outstretched, allows the colugo to glide for hundreds of feet. Being tree dwellers, much of what they eat comes from trees, leaves, fruit, and buds of the sort. Their lower incisors have developed into comb-like structures to specialize in the straining and raking of these food items, not to mention the benefits they provide to grooming their fur. Typically, colugos will only birth a single youngling that clutches onto the belly once they're big enough. I guess this aspect of their life stage served as an inspiration for the brand Colugo, which makes baby strollers and other baby-related items, so if you were in the market for such things, here's your in case you want a colugo stroller. If you were to guess where colugos stand on the tree of life, where would you place them? They do have a broad flap of skin to help them glide, so maybe they're a type of flying squirrel or rodent at the very least? Wrong. Colugos belong to a group known as Dermopterans, which, if zoomed out, makes them a part of the greater Primatomorpha group, which is shared with real lemurs, monkeys, and apes like you. And again, not me, because I'm an alien from the future.
Yeah, so the closest living relatives of colugos are primates. So if you were ever wondering if there were such things as flying monkeys in real life, well, here's your example right here. But not really, because colugos don't fly. And they're not monkeys, because that's not how phylogenetics work.
With that, I think I'm going to wrap up my little tour of mammalian obscurities. I wanted to keep this short and sweet, as I wasn't sure how much yapping was appropriate for the amount of animals I was introducing here. Either way, I hope you learned something today. I definitely encourage you to look more into these creatures on your own. They're fascinating, and they're really awesome to just know about and just learn about. I mean, I found some nutty stuff doing research for this video. If you enjoyed what I talked about today, let me know. I plan on continuing to make more videos about the natural world, and hey, if you want to see more mammals, there's plenty more where that came from.
Oh, also, subscribe and like the video. I'd love to see you back here. Alright, that's everything. Now I just gotta go figure out how to take off this human suit.